Welcome back to Garden Talk, brought to you by the Penn State Erie County Extension Master Gardeners. Again, today I'm your co-host, Mike Bailey, along with Ellen DePlacido. Ellen, are you there?
I am.
Hello. Hey, what are we going to talk about today? Seems like we always
Well,
start out like that.
I know. We're going to continue talking about insects in our vegetable garden. And in fact, this is part 6. And last time we reviewed the cucumber beetle because it really overshadows all the other pests that impact the cucumber plant. But today we want to talk about some of those insects that affect the potato plant. But Mike, I think you want to start off a little bit, first of all, about planting potatoes correctly in your garden.
Yes, and I got reminded of this the other day because
Right.
I was invited to a garden, okay, to talk about what they were doing and how their approach, and somebody brought up the whole idea of planting potatoes, and he talked
hmm
about planting a potato in a bucket and this and that and whatever that was sprouting that he found in the kitchen and stuff like that, and I go, okay, and that's all fine and dandy. I'm glad he was excited about it, and that's wonderful. I love that. But let's kind of do a little bit of a quick review of some of the guidelines, okay, about planting potatoes. Because if you've never planted potatoes, you really probably should do this, and it's not too late. In fact, if you get it done before the end of June, you're probably in good shape. But first of all, you probably want to buy some potatoes, seed potatoes from a garden store, and not probably not use the ones that you get in the kitchen. We don't know exactly where they were raised and what they might have coated them with, and are they going to sprout for you, this and that, whatever, and how are they going to be able to, withstand our particular climate. So go ahead and purchase some seed potatoes from a nursery, and once you've done that, okay, go out to your garden, dig a little bit of a trench, probably 6 to 8 inches deep. And remember, you're not going to bury potatoes, you're going to plant them. Okay, that's the other problem I have with people
Right.
planting potatoes, they bury them.
Yeah.
Um, and what you're going to do is put the potatoes in the bottom of that trench and space them, about 12 to 15 inches apart. And then you're going to cover them with about 2 inches of soil. I know you got them in a trench about 6 to 8 inches deep, but you're going to cover them only with about 2 inches of soil. And then you're going to water them. And as they start to sprout and grow, once the foliage gets 4 or 5 inches tall, you're going to start bringing some of that soil in from the sides of that trench in kind of covering up that first, 3 inches of the base of that stem. And as that plant grows, you're going to continue to kind of bring in some of that soil until you get to the point where you're pretty much level with the surrounding ground. In fact, you might even bring some of the soil up and even mound it up around the plant eventually. And as the
hmm
plant gets taller, you leave more and more of the vegetation showing until you have a plant that's probably, 15, 18 inches tall up above the ground. And you're going to water them on a regular basis, keep them moist. Don't, flood them, but you keep them nice and moist. And then you gotta want to feed them every once in a while. Feed them a couple times during the season because potatoes, like us, they're good feeders also. So you need to kind of keep that in mind. And then after about 10, 12 weeks after you planted them, what you got to do, you got to take a peek and see whether you got any potatoes down there, right? Because
hmm
now they've already blossomed, and after they blossom, the production of the potato kind of accelerates. So you want to kind of, after about 10, 12 weeks of them being in the ground, go ahead and dig around them, the base of them, with your hands, not with a tool, with your hands, and dig down there and see if you can find some potatoes. If you can find some that are decent size as far as eating, go ahead and pick them. Don't pull a plant out, just pick the potato, because there's going to be some smaller potatoes down in there also that you want to kind of grow. So pick a potato or two off of each of the plants if you can find some decent ones, then cover them back up and give them some more water, and go on your merry way, and you'll have a wonderful crop. And then once the plants kind of really kind of slack off in the fall, and they'll pretty much die off, go ahead and harvest them completely, being careful not to, poke them with your garden fork or your shovel, etc., and stuff like that. So potatoes are fun to grow, and if you've never had garden grown potatoes to eat, you're in for a treat. So,
Right.
but
Right.
in regards to the pests, what do we need to be concerned about, Ellen?
Well, particularly the Colorado potato beetle. Okay, I know it's called Colorado potato beetle, but it's here in Pennsylvania too.
Yes.
And it's a black and yellow striped bug that appears in the spring. return home again in the soil. Okay, they live in the soil during the winter. The larva of this bug is red with black spots, and like I said, it overwinters in the soil as a pupa. Okay, so both the adult and the larva feed on the leaves of the potato plant, and they can actually eat or defoliate that entire plant if you don't catch them in time.
Yeah, they're good eaters too.
Yes, they are, just like us. So the adult then lays orange egg masses on the underside of the leaves of the potato plant. So you could hand pick them. Like Mike says, they don't bite. They're not going to hurt you. So you can hand pick them and you can smash them between your fingers. Or if need be, once they've gotten a little bit more out of control, you can use that BT, Bacillus thuringiensis. Now, a variation of that is San Diego. I don't know what that is, Mike,
Yeah,
but
you
it will
have.
kill the larva.
Yeah, you have to use that particular variety of the BT
Okay.
of the BT
Okay.
bacteria. Yes.
On the potatoes. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And then spinosad would also help control the adults. So there are a couple items there that you can use if they've gotten out of control and you haven't been able to get rid of them by hand picking.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
there's another insect too, right, Mike?
Oh yes. Okay. But one
Yes,
one
you
other
would
thing
always have
about
those.
the potato bug. Don't be.
Okay.
For most home gardeners, you can probably just hand pick these things,
Okay.
and and put them in a jar of water or something like that, soapy water, and dispose of them somehow. And you can also smash their eggs on the bottom of the leaves. And when we're going to talk about squash bugs and about next time around, and we're going to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Searching for their eggs, get rid of the eggs.
Mm-hmm.
But the other insect that you were alluding to is our infamous flea beetle.
Mm-hmm.
That can be a problem early in the season. And again, small little beetle like the size of a period at the end of a sentence, that jumps from leaf to leaf and creates little holes, etc., and stuff like that. And the same drill, the neem oil, the spinosad, and even the carb oil, things get really bad. But the whole issue with these plants, like any other plants, is to keep them healthy, and you'll have
Mm-hmm.
fewer pest problems. So, keep after them, keep them moist, okay, keep them weed free, give them a little bit of food every once in a while because we all like to eat, and life will be good. Ellen, it looks like we used up our time again.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Thank you for listening.